No, they gonna make you. He gonna be calling somebody daddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Right.
that's funny. I mean,
Jay,
it's
you reap what you sow. You might have. I don't give a damn what you sowing, but you sure gonna reap it.
yeah,
You gonna reap what you sow.
yeah. Now I wasn't always.
Good, bad, and different.
And with the whole in comparison, we can compare Bill Cosby to R. Kelly and whether or not I think most definitely they should R. Kelly should be charged with something, misconduct maybe. I think maybe that's maybe the least they can get him on. I mean, he needs to do something. This is almost it's scary because it's not just about R. Kelly. Like I said, it sends a message to our community about our young black women out there who are struggling with child abuse, mental issues, which is something we don't necessarily, or over the decades, something we haven't dealt with in our communities on an upfront basis. You don't hear people talk about handling, how to get therapy for being molested or touched or sexual abuse or things like that. So it was bigger than just the R. Kelly thing in terms we got to start looking at the victims and what this recovery means to them. We can all point fingers. I think what was the most interesting comments, going back to why I did this podcast, was that people were really pointing the fingers at the girls, calling them fast and calling them, money hungry. I mean, again, if you saw the documentary, if you looked at it from a perspective of having been in abusive relationships, these men who conduct these they prey on ones with low self-esteem, ones who have bad issues, come from a bad abusive background. They prey. Interesting. Outside of Aaliyah, I've never seen R. Kelly with anyone who was maybe equivalent to him. Or in the industry, he never. R. Kelly seems like one of them who couldn't handle a real woman.
And you know what? I didn't even know, bless her heart and every last one of her parts, I didn't even know he was married at all. Like, a fan of music, not a fan of your personal life, ain't and all that. So I never knew he was married until I saw the reality show and Andrea was on it. I was like, what?
Yeah.
He was, doing the certain confessionals after, in between takes or whatever, how they go back and ask them something about whatever was going on behind the scene in your mind, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, at the time, and I was going through this with R. Kelly, and I'm like, what is she talking about?
Yep.
And I never, because when the sex tape came out, I remember people was talking about it, and I'm like, what? He ain't pee on nobody. Shut up. I never Googled it, never looked it up, never wanted to see it until I was watching the damn show the other night, and I'm like, well, let me see if I can Google that. Then I'm like, do I really want that on my search engine? So let's not say we did. So what I haven't seen, don't need to see. I haven't seen it, don't need to see it. I ain't seen it yet. I can live without it. It's cool.
Right.
And, I was just like, I never knew my point is, I didn't know she existed until I saw her on the reality show and then hearing her talk that day, and then when Sparkle was like, she heard a knock at the door, I'm like, what the hell? He was knocking, can I come out?
Can she come eat?
Listen, I wish. Man, look here. I wish. That's my I wish.
For real.
I wish.
And that was interesting.
Please try.
That's
like, no.
Yeah, that's the exact same thing I said. I didn't know I knew who all the other ex-wives were when I saw that. I'm a Prince fan, so they said my tape was going to be on it, and I was like, okay, I want to see. I wonder what Prince has to say about this. Anyway, I saw Andrea Kelly, and I'm thinking, I had to look her up. Who was Andrea Kelly? And they said R. Kelly. I was like, I didn't even know R. Kelly was married. And and how long they had been married, because they had 3 kids. So, this was immediately following his Aaliyah marriage, and that's what we call a beard. I think that, and I think they mentioned that inside the docuseries as well, that the older women that he seemed to invest his time with were kind of for his show ponies, to kind of maybe disengage us from the idea that somewhere there's a young girl who can't go to the bathroom without his permission is hiding. So he has these older women that he's been taking out. And I think Andrea, I never saw her in public with R. Kelly, to tell you the truth. I seen this last older woman. I saw him in public with her. But, yeah, I think those were beards, I guess, for public image. I don't know. But, yeah, this is... I didn't know who she was at all. until she, and then she's a little, again, you look at women who come from some real sordid backgrounds that he seems to prey on. I mean,
she had her shit going on though.
But like, she's more of a celebrity now.
She was doing good on her own.
But she wasn't doing that when she was with R. Kelly though. She
stopped doing everything when she started fucking with him.
Exactly. So she had to leave him. She was able to divorce him. The only reason I think Andrea was able to even speak on him is because she had a restraining order against him. So she left with him with nothing. And that's how she was able to parlay. Her career was from Hollywood Exes. That's how we figured out who she was. Nobody knew who she was. Yeah. So she would have been doing hair somewhere in Chicago or teaching dance in a small classroom, but now she's people know her across the country. So that was now say, and she was able to benefit from it because she has R. Kelly's kids, for one. Those are the kids that we know about, you know. Looking at the documentary, it's hard we don't know. There could be more R. Kelly kids out there. I guess the whole thing is that, I don't know, you said you didn't see the last episode. I'm not sure how far you saw into the last two, but this is when they showed the mother, Dominique Gardner's mother, was out in Beverly Hills and found her daughter and was able to rescue her and take her home. And then at the end of the show, they said Dominique went back for 3 days and then went back home to her parents. So I guess either she, went back and he told her no, or I don't know. Anyway, the last two parents.
I think I saw that. Yeah, I think I saw the end of that one.
Okay, and then there were two other sets of parents. Not Jocelyn Savage, but the other girl, Azriel, the singer. Her parents are standing outside the studio, throwing rocks at the window. I mean, it just broke my heart to see these parents out there just trying to get a glimpse of their child they haven't seen in about 3 years. And that's what I'm saying. If R. Kelly, if it's not anything that's wrong, and we're just and the world is overreacting to your genuine care for these young women, why is it that they can't see their parents? I mean, that's what there's something wrong with that. For him to be able to keep trying to justify that these people are just trying to do something to ruin his reputation, you're doing that on your own.
Yeah.
It's a sad world. We're gonna wrap this portion of it up. We have stayed on R. Kelly for a minute, and I think this again. Somebody also, another comment was, well, he's going viral. While he's going viral, we're giving him attention, or what, we do want to give him all the attention we can, but not in a good way. I mean, I'm not sure why his record sales went up. That's a little strange. Maybe people are more fascinated with R. Kelly now that he's a predator.
We are. The music.
Yeah, but people are always attracted to the darkness. So we're probably at some point trying to, listen to, analyze and reanalyze and everything, and
right, or it's some pedophile somewhere that's like, ooh,
yeah,
that song.
That's my theme song. These little girls. We also, we got to start definitely and being a little more involved in the images that we are exposing to our young women. Hopefully, unfortunately, there are some young girls out there who probably saw the docuseries and was probably like, that's what I want to do. While somewhere else, hopefully that docuseries encouraged some young woman or any woman to escape their abuser and seek some sort of help or counseling. This is a touchy subject. With that being said, I'm gonna wrap this up. This being such a touchy subject, I also want to reiterate. Don't let this R. Kelly shit distract you. Let's celebrate the release of Centoria Brown. I think that's another positive selection in the Me Too movement and the movement for women's rights. So I definitely want to celebrate that. But we got some big shit going on in this country with number 45. So we definitely want to make sure that we are building our communities to help support each other, because I assure you they anticipate, especially with this government shutdown, they anticipate the worst from us. You know what I'm saying?
And see, that's one of the things that I wanted to, before we get out of here, that I wanted to make sure, that I started, one of the main messages that I started, putting out there as far as the government is concerned, and how the community actually do need to stick together. And the only way we're gonna survive any mishaps with the government is to govern ourselves first.
Amen.
As a community, if you know how to govern yourself as a community, you'll survive.
Yep.
You'll survive, and you'll survive, and you'll thrive, because we are literally all helpers one to another. No, that is a scripture. We'll get to that episode later. But I know that we are all helpers one to another, and if we govern ourselves accordingly in our communities and act right, because we have to act right to act right. You know what I'm saying? Then we'll be better than okay. We'll be great. We will be great.
Exactly.
Because we come from greatness. I'm just saying. You have to pick and choose the characteristics for which you were born with, and that was passed on. You know, the inheritance of your heritage.
Your ancestors.
You have to pick and choose those things. Yeah, you have to pick and choose those things that will definitely catapult you to where you need to be.
Exactly.
And not focus on the ones that keeps you complacent and at a standstill.
Exactly. As always, ma'am, it is a pleasure. Until next time, this is Harlo, Hendrix, Susie, and TJ. We're signing off for the first official podcast of Misconnect. I'm going to go ahead and close out with one of my favorite scenes from one of my favorite shows, the Boondocks, as we close out this subject matter with the R. Kelly. Y'all have a great day. Peace and blessings.
All right. Peace.